Do you think that we're going to see war in our own country in our lifetime? I'm asking a real estate agent this, by the way, so like forget.
Is it probable? Absolutely. Again, I
What's more probable in your mind, Civil War or World War?
In my mind, I would believe that it would. I believe a world war would probably be definitely more.
I don't know if you've been watching YouTube,
Yeah,
but it's not looking good for Taiwan right now.
yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, we're all. It's like a game of Risk is going on
Right.
over there.
Well, and then again, going back to the blanket cause of all this, with the thoughts that I hold dear at the end of the day, and here's what gives me a lot of peace, and like I'm probably as chill as anybody you will ever meet, and
I would say you're probably on the top end of that.
That is truly who I am. I think as a person is I don't really get like I'll get up into the headlines occasionally, and I'll be like, oh, what's going on here?
Boy.
Like,
Yeah.
right, I'll dig deep into a rabbit hole every now and then, but at the same time, like with the thought that we don't know, with the thought that a lot of the arguments that we have are pointless.
Based on theoretics.
The thoughts that, when I'm 95 and I'm old and I'm on my deathbed, is it going to matter that I prove somebody right about some sort of political agenda or something like that? It's not. And I think as I go into the spiritual realm, the afterlife, if I truly do believe in that, like what's here that's worth
versus eternity.
What's here? Like what are you and I truly that concerned about?
Yeah.
And the answer is those couple relationships that we have,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether it be 3 or 4 or 12.
I just can't get over the joy that just coaching my daughter's softball team brought. I never thought it was possible.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It was really something.
So I think the path to joy is not more, right?
Mm-mm.
The path to joy is way less. And again, going back to, I didn't really have much when I was growing up, but I was never unhappy.
What's that like for you as a successful real estate agent, knowing that less is more? And then
it takes the governor off.
But you have the opportunity to like have a nice house.
Yeah. Yeah.
You in Hickory especially, you have a big old house, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I making what we make together,
Yeah.
we could move to the backside of Baker's Mountain, build our own property,
Yeah.
make it something special.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a very nice house. I have a very nice house, very nice setup. I'm way, way, way more better off than I would have ever have imagined that I would have been. And the success that I enjoy, I definitely don't take for granted. I work as hard or probably harder than probably anybody that I know, as far as the time and effort and things that I put into my business. And I look at, again, spend 4 more hours here if you wanted to, but, I work on my life from the, it's a wheel. And I was taught this from a mentor of mine, but we each have these separate spokes that we have in our life. And those spokes are your love life, your finances, your spirit, yourself, your work, and your friends and your family, right?
Yeah.
So there's 7 spokes. So to keep things simple for me, I think simplicity. I think it was Einstein was talking about like the ability to make something complex simple is a very high sign of intelligence.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of truth to that also being a good sign of like joy. Just like we have all these things that come in, especially as men, right? We have all these responsibilities, all these things that we deal with, and at the end of the day, like we are called to be as good as we can be, as much as we can, and to provide as much attention, as much value as we can to the people that we are around and that we impact. And the better we become personally and in our headspace and in our spirit space, the more we can impact those around us. And I think that that's kind of the higher purpose of why we're all here. Like your impact with your life will live on past your
at least 2 or 3 generations.
Right. So you have a couple of choices. Like, you can try to have as much impact as you can, right? Or, and focus on that and just work on that every day. Or you can get pulled. And I truly think we get pulled in a lot of directions that should not catch our attention.
I just turned down a job with PBS.
Right.
To stay home.
Okay. So
it was just $1,000.
Yeah. But see,
had it been $3,000, I might have said yeah, but
so we get pulled in all these directions, and I think we make those decisions based on how can I be a better impact to those around me, and those are the spokes. So I'm constantly working on, and I'll look at those spokes as 1 to 10. Like, where are my finances? Am I 1, 2, 3? What would a 10 look like? Where's my health? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's a 10 look like? So I'm very clear about what a 10 would look like in each one of those areas.
Yeah.
So
and maybe you're better off having 7s all around and not 10s the whole way.
Well, that's the thing.
If
like
you could get 10s on all of them, that'd be
right. Like, you'll never get a 10, and that's the thing. That's the beauty about how I feel as a man. Is I know a lot of people that are 10s in finances, right? But they're a 2 with their family.
That sucks.
Or you have somebody that's a 10 in their health, right? And they're physically fit and they can run marathons and they're always doing Ironmans, but they're broke. Or they're, they have no relationship with their kids.
Or they're narcissists. Typically.
Right. Or they're, yes. So my thoughts are, it's selfish in a way, but I think we have to be a little bit selfish to make sure that we bring the best version of ourselves to the world that we live in.
I think about it every day.
So we go deep into what it is that we want, what it is that sets us on fire, right?
I just want my kids to understand that too, and like,
right,
you can't teach a 6-year-old how to pull. You
don't teach them. You don't teach, and this is why I never got. That's it.
I got it.
You be the example, right? That as, and this goes like to my childhood. That 11-year-old kid. When I looked out at the world, the curtains are open. Like, people see who you are, especially people that are close to you.
God,
right?
It's just
so when you look at that, I'm like getting all like deep into this, but when you really look at that's where the impact happens, right? So that kid that you saw walking through the grocery store or whatever, right?
Full beard. He looked like he was 40, but he was probably 22.
Right, or however old he is. Yeah. Could he have been impacted differently? Was the example that was put in front of him truthful?
He might still be a gay man.
That's fine. Like, what was it? If you and I feel that, or if for some reason we feel like someone is not on the path that they should be, that they were intended to be, the question is that, and I don't know.
Like, I know my thing with speaking about the bearded man with the women's clothes on, I know how hard women are on themselves when they don't feel they're pretty. And if in fact this bearded man is really truly a woman inside of a man's body, imagine how she feels. Because she's not just an obese woman, but she's an obese woman with a beard and a penis. And she's everything that she can't be. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's everything she doesn't want to be, and she's nothing that she wants to be. And so that soul inside that person's body is yearning and striving to be something like Barbra Streisand or some beautiful woman, but they can never be that thing.
Right.
And that has to be so
isn't that
hard
like
on
the definition of every person who's ever walked this planet?
I don't know. I mean, my idol was Bo Jackson. I cannot be black.
But that's the embodiment of. I mean, it's kind of poetic when you really think about it. Like, we all want to be somebody we're not, right?
My whole life, like, I was like drawn to black athletes as like my role models.
Right.
Sure. And when when I would play video games, I would identify as black in the video game, and I would make my Grand Theft Auto character black.
Right.
I would make, and so like that's so weird though, and like one of the best compliments someone gave me was, "You're like the blackest white guy I know," and I was like, "Thanks, I appreciate that." But that I still can't say the N word,
No,
and I don't want
and you
to.
should, like,
But
I think it's again. There's a lot of poetry to that. To think that, you don't know, and I think that's where I come back to that truth sentiment. It's like, if I don't know, how can I judge, right?
yeah,
If I don't truly understand, how can I cast judgment on that? Like, number one, I'm not called to. Number two, like, it's kind of dumb to do that. Like, it's not very smart for me to say I disregard this person's choices because they don't line up with some sort of belief that I am not even certain I understand myself.